What if I told you that the anxiety you felt this morning didn't actually start in your brain? What if it started at breakfast? I know that sounds crazy, but stay with me because what I'm about to share with you is going to change the way you think about your mental health forever. Hey, I'm Anna, and welcome to the very first episode of our new series, Nourish Your Mind, the Food-Mood Connection. Over the next 12 videos, we're going on a journey together. We're going to explore the fascinating science behind how the food you eat directly impacts your mood, your anxiety levels, your energy, and your overall mental well-being. And here's the best part. Everything I'm sharing with you is backed by real scientific research. No fluff, no pseudoscience, just evidence-based information that can actually help you feel better. Today, we're starting with something that's going to blow your mind, the gut-brain connection. And trust me, once you understand this, so many things about your mental health are going to suddenly make sense. Let's dive in. Raise your hand if you've ever experienced this. You wake up feeling fine, maybe even good. But then, an hour or two later, you're suddenly anxious, irritable, or just off. Your thoughts are racing, your chest feels tight, and you can't quite figure out why. You might think, what's wrong with me? Why can't I control this? Here's what's happening. Your gut is talking to your brain, and if your gut is unhappy, your brain hears about it loud and clear. Scientists have discovered there's a direct communication highway between your gut and your brain. It's called the gut-brain axis, and it's a two-way street. Imagine your gut is a Wi-Fi router in your house. It's constantly sending signals throughout your entire system. When the signal is strong and clear, everything works smoothly. But when there's interference from the wrong foods, stress, or imbalanced bacteria, the signal gets scrambled, and that's when things start to go wrong. Your brain receives those scrambled signals and responds with anxiety, brain fog, mood swings, or even depression. Now, before we go any further, let me give you some context about why this matters so much. According to the World Health Organization, anxiety and depression are at epidemic levels. In fact, millions of people worldwide are struggling with mental health issues, and the numbers keep climbing. But here's what's rarely talked about. This mental health crisis is happening at the exact same time as we're seeing epidemics of obesity and chronic disease. Coincidence? Not at all. These issues share common roots, and one of the biggest factors is what we're eating or not eating. So, what exactly is this gut-brain axis? I'll break it down in a way that makes sense. The gut-brain axis is a communication network between three main players. First, your central nervous system. That's your brain and spinal cord, the command center. Second, your enteric nervous system, the network of nerves in your gut, called your second brain. And third, the trillions of microbes living in your intestines, your gut bacteria. These three systems are constantly talking to each other, sending messages back and forth. And here's what makes this so powerful. This network also connects with your immune system and your hormonal system, creating this incredibly complex web of communication. Now, I know we're covering a lot of science here, and you might be thinking, okay, but what does this mean for ME? That's exactly what we're going to explore throughout this entire series. And if you're finding this helpful so far, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the upcoming episodes. We're going to get into the practical stuff, what to eat, what to avoid, and how to actually implement these changes. Also, I've put together a list of evidence-based supplements that can support this gut-brain connection, and you can find that link down in the description below. Let's keep going. Your gut microbes are like tiny chemical factories, working 24/7 to produce molecules that affect your brain. First, neurotransmitters. Yes, your gut bacteria actually produce the same chemicals your brain uses to regulate mood. They make GABA, which is your brain's main calming neurotransmitter. They produce serotonin, the happy chemical, along with dopamine and norepinephrine, which affect motivation, pleasure, and alertness. In fact, about 90% of your body's serotonin is produced in your gut, not your brain. Second, short-chain fatty acids. These are compounds like butyrate and propionate. They sound technical, but here's what you need to know. These molecules are incredibly important for reducing inflammation and supporting healthy brain function. Third, vitamins. Your gut bacteria actually produce certain vitamins that your brain needs, including biotin and vitamin B12. If your gut bacteria are out of balance, you might not be producing enough of these essential nutrients. Here's something crucial. All of these molecules also interact with your immune system. Your gut has immune cells that interact with your good bacteria. When everything's in balance, this interaction keeps inflammation in check. But when things go wrong, when you have the wrong balance of bacteria, or when your gut lining becomes damaged or leaked, this can trigger chronic inflammation. And chronic inflammation doesn't stay in your gut. it can travel to your brain, where it's directly linked to depression, anxiety, and other mental health issues. This is the missing piece that conventional approaches to mental health often overlook. Now, I know this might feel overwhelming. You might be thinking, great, so my mental health is dependent on trillions of bacteria I can't even see? But here's the incredibly empowering truth. You have more control over this than you might think. Every single day, with every meal, you're either feeding the bacteria that support your mental health, or you're feeding the ones that work against it. The relationship between nutrition and mental health begins early. Actually, it starts before birth. A developing baby's brain is incredibly sensitive to the mother's nutritional status. But here's what I want you to hear. It's never too late to improve your diet and your mental well-being. Whether you're 25 or 75, your gut bacteria can change, your brain can heal, your mood can improve. And that's exactly what we're going to explore in this series. In the next video, we're going to talk about the modern diet trap, why the standard Western diet is a recipe for poor mental health, and what specific foods and additives are sabotaging your gut-brain connection. After that, we'll get into the good stuff, the ancestral diet blueprint, the specific nutrients your brain needs, how to heal your gut microbiome, and so much more. Here's what I want you to remember from today. Your gut and your brain are in constant communication. The bacteria in your intestines produce powerful compounds that directly influence your mood, your anxiety levels, and your mental clarity. When your gut is healthy, your mind can be healthy too. And the good news? You have the power to change this, starting with your next meal. If you want to be notified when each new video drops, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. I'll see you soon.